This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Brittany is away today. One of Winnipeg's largest homeless shelters is parting ways with its CEO after just 3 months in the job. Silo Mission says the non-for-profit is starting a leadership transition and financial review period to stay afloat. CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco has that story.
Whether it be a warm meal, a clean bed, or clothing, Silo Mission has been a place that helps people experiencing homelessness in Winnipeg, but the non-for-profit is struggling.
Since COVID, our general donations have not been keeping pace with the increase in cost.
To try and deal with it, Silo Mission slashed spending. In May, they projected a deficit of over $4 million. Now they say it's just under $2 million, thanks to future cuts to dining hours and the staff that work them. At first, they plan to make those cuts June 1st, but some unexpected funding is helping them delay that by a month to July 1st. After that, if no extra funding is available, then they will no longer open for supper hours in the evenings.
All is not lost. It's not a hopeless situation, but it is a really difficult situation, and we need to be, good stewards of the money that we get.
Silom CEO Sonia Prevost-Becker is also stepping down. She's the non-for-profit's third CEO in just 5 years. But Szilágyi says the board believes the job is too much for one person. They're bringing in a transitional team to help decide what's next. Silom will review its leadership and fundraising over the next few months. Szilágyi says the board was already aware some of this was needed before Prevost-Becker took her job in mid-February.
We really want to ensure that the sustainability of the organization remains strong, and we really want to ensure that our direct services, our community that we serve, and the staff that we employ are well supported.
Silom hopes donations will fill their funding gap, but with the cost of programs rapidly increasing and donations static, they aren't sure what that looks like. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg police have charged a man with a long list of weapons offenses after seizing a large number of guns. Members of the organized crime unit raided an apartment on Cumberland Avenue earlier this month. They found 21 loaded handguns along with ammunition, cash, and cocaine. Police say the guns likely came from the U.S.
These are all firearms that were meant for illegal purposes, whether it's illegal possession or use in a criminal offense. By seizing these firearms, the organized crime unit members have prevented possibly numerous shootings, including homicides, not only in Winnipeg and Manitoba, but throughout Canada.
Police say one of the guns had a silencer, which police say shows it was intended for use in committing a crime. The 24-year-old suspect is in custody. A 21-year-old man is in hospital after being thrown from a vehicle in a violent crash in Winnipeg's Transcona neighborhood early Sunday. The collision left a trail of debris in front of 2 high schools and rattled neighbors. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
A helicopter touches down on Redonda Street in Transcona around 2 a.m. Sunday. Police say the 21-year-old male driver of this car was airlifted out in critical condition and remains in hospital. They also say it was a single vehicle crash and he was the only one in the vehicle. No one else was injured. Later Sunday morning, the street was closed and the wreckage remained. The car's tires were in different locations. A light pole was knocked over. These wooden barriers looked like they had been ripped from the ground, and debris and evidence littered the street.
Horrible. I'm glad nobody else was hurt. I mean, this is serious. The streets aren't made for that. Just looking at it, he had to be driving pretty fast.
Henry DeBeer walks this sidewalk often.
I hope this is the last time I see that. I really do, because that's not good. If this happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a lot of people in this area, and somebody else could have got hit. I mean, how was he going to swerve around me if I was walking down that sidewalk?
Pam Hafey saw the first responders early in the morning. She was surprised to see the helicopter still in her area. STARS says while calls within Winnipeg aren't frequent, they do happen occasionally. They say they responded 6 times to emergencies in the city in the past year.
When I got out of the house, I saw the STARS helicopter coming down. My first reaction was, okay, both my boys are home. One of them had just come home, so I knew that both my kids were home.
Speed is being investigated as a contributing factor in the crash. Police are looking for any dash cam, security, or cell phone video that could help investigators see the car around the time of the incident. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A driver is dead after the car he was in collided with a water truck. It happened Friday on Cavalier Drive north of Hillary Crescent. Authorities say the car was heading north on Cavalier and drove directly into a parked water truck at a high rate of speed. Police arrived on scene around 12:30 in the afternoon when paramedics were pulling the driver from the car. The 49-year-old was pronounced dead shortly after. The water truck operator was taken to hospital in stable condition. The body of a man was found today near a burning vehicle in Carman. RCMP were called to the vehicle fire inside a self-storage compound on 2nd Street Northeast in Carman just after 1 this morning. The vehicle was fully engulfed in flames. Officers are treating the death as suspicious. The RCMP's Major Crime Services Unit is investigating. Manitoba doctors favor a ban on AI chatbots and social media for children and youth. That's according to a new survey. Doctors Manitoba says physicians ranked social media among the top 3 risks to kids' health and well-being. CBC's Rosanna Hempel brings us more.
Manitoba doctors believe screen time and social media are among the greatest health risks to children and youth. According to a new poll, it ranks higher than bullying, inactivity, and substance use.
Social media use has been associated with addictions, depression, anxiety, and eating disorders.
242 out of about 5,000 Doctors Manitoba members answered a recent survey. More than 90% of those who responded say they back a ban on AI chatbots and social media for children and youth. About 38% believe the ban should apply to kids 16 and under, and about a third think it should be 17 and under. Pediatrician Dr. William Lee supports a ban. He's already encouraged some families to limit screen time.
The Canadian Pediatric Society does recommend that kids 5 years and above to limit their screen time to a max of 2 hours per day, and that includes social media.
The survey also found physicians support additional or alternative restrictions, including getting rid of addictive features like infinite scrolling. Doctors Manitoba says parents and educators have to work together.
We all had typing class and keyboard class when we were in school. I think that social media education is that next step of IT literacy in schools.
Premier Wab Kinew announced last month Manitoba will ban children and youth from using AI chatbots and social media. He told CBC the ban could also bar school teachers from using YouTube in the classroom. The Manitoba Teachers Society disagrees. Union President Lillian Clausen says many educators depend on apps and online platforms to supplement their teaching.
When we're talking about putting restrictions in place, I think that's a very healthy thing for students. I think that when teachers want to use this as part of their teaching, that we need to understand that they have extensive training and that they should have the autonomy to be able to decide.
The union says it will need to be consulted on any changes affecting students and teachers. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meteorologist Colette Kennedy joins us now. Colette, pleasant day today, but enjoy it because the heat is coming.
Thanks, Marjorie. Well, boy, oh boy, we are headed into quite the weather pattern here as we move through this week. I mean, today already with the temperatures, and of course yesterday, relatively mild as well. And this carries on, but it's that the heat will be building further as we extend a little deeper into the week. So I'm going to get into all of that tonight, but just starting you off with some of the afternoon temperatures, not even necessarily the highs. This was at 4 p.m., so temperatures even warmed up a little further from here, but we certainly had some upper 20s. They are southern parts of the province. There is some volatile weather just across the border into northwestern Ontario, but that's really tracking eastward. So high pressure is digging in. We get into mostly clear skies tonight, 11 degrees, a lighter easterly wind. It was a little bit breezy through this afternoon. By tomorrow morning, maybe a few clouds, partly cloudy, and then here we go into the afternoon hours, a high of 27 with mostly sunny skies. Where is that heat? How high is it going to go? Where are we going with it? I'll tell you coming up.
Thank you very much, Colette. The city of Winnipeg needs more housing, what some developers say is holding them back when it comes to building. Plus, the province is facing questions about using an American company to engage with Manitobans. There's a lot more coming up. Stay with us. Well, 1 year after the Manitoba government passed a bill to buy Canadian, the law still hasn't taken effect. The opposition Progressive Conservatives argue the government is more focused on looking patriotic than taking action. CBC's Ian Fraze joins us now live in our newsroom. Ian, bring us up to speed. What's the purpose of the Buy Canadian Act?
Marjorie, it requires the province to make a Buy Canadian policy. That means across government it can give preferential treatment to Canadian suppliers. The bill passed last June, but it hasn't been proclaimed, so none of what I've told you is actually in force. PC leader Obby Khan says the NDP clearly isn't serious about buying Canadian.
Another great example of fake patriotism by this premier. He wraps himself in the Canadian flag when it suits him. He came out big and tough and strong on buy local and support Canada and support Manitoba. They still have not proclaimed this bill.
But even without a Buy Canadian policy being the law, NDP Finance Minister Adrian Salas says the government is making progress.
We've seen a 31% reduction in American procurement over the last year. So our government is doing the work to ensure that more opportunities are being made available to Canadian and Manitoba businesses.
Now, Ian, the province's contract with an American company to run Engage MB is getting some attention. That's the website where Manitobans can fill out surveys and share comments with the government. What's happening with this deal?
Well, the province says it's now looking for a Canadian business to handle the website. Engage MB was initially hosted by a Canadian company. Then that company was bought by US-based Granacus, which now assumes control of Engage MB. While the province is looking to get that online platform into Canadian hands, it says the staff currently working on Engage MB are Canadian and the data stored in Canada. Now, the website hosts surveys, including one out right now evaluating whether Manitoba should stop changing the clock twice a year. Marjorie.
Thank you very much, Ian. That is CBC's Ian Fraze reporting live tonight in our newsroom. The city of Winnipeg has tried to ramp up housing construction in recent years, but the push to build has led to bottlenecks in places where sewers and other services need upgrades to meet the demands. CBC's Cameron McLean explains how the city is trying to break the stalemate.
Before housing can be built, developers often need to upgrade underground services like water and sewer pipes. The problem is those upgrades can cost millions of dollars, and developers don't want to be the first ones to pay for improvements that future projects will benefit from.
5 years ago, Progressive Real Estate Group applied to build a mixed-use development here at 1269 St. Anne's Road, including more than 100 residential units. At the same time, 2 other developers had plans to build on nearby Creek Bend Road. The city told developers that in order for any of the projects to move ahead, they would need to upgrade sewer capacity on a section of pipe in the River Park South neighborhood, more than a kilometer away.
The certainty of payback by a future developer is really unknown. But I think what's most frustrating is the lack of a tracking system that actually can formally document this. It's all just very convoluted.
City officials say the problem is becoming more common as Winnipeg pushes for more infill housing in older neighborhoods.
We're aware of developers sitting on their properties, months or years, just waiting for someone to come along and provide the servicing on their behalf.
Under the proposed changes, developers who pay to upgrade infrastructure could recover part of those costs from future projects based on how much of the extra capacity they use. The city says the goal is to create more certainty and reduce the risk of being the first developer to move ahead.
This is a good first step. The more certainty you have going into a project, the more likely you are to do it, right? Which would ultimately just lead to more building and better things for our city. Right?
Property Committee Chair Councillor Evan Duncan says he has seen projects delayed or expanded beyond their original scope because of the added infrastructure costs, which he says erodes trust with the community.
Clearly, our city needs housing, and it needs that housing to be affordable. And a way to encourage that affordability is that these developers aren't including the entirety of the cost of this infrastructure, knowing that they will be paid back.
The proposed changes still need final approval from council this Thursday. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
An unusual theft from school grounds. Children at a Headingley preschool are missing one of their play structures. Officials at Guiding Minds Montessori School say thieves broke through the fence of the outdoor playground and stole a large wooden playset like that one. The daycare's owner says the children were shocked when she explained what happened to the structure.
How could someone even be this low to steal from, a school and children? Like, it's not like adults play on the structure, it's little kids.
Izzard says replacing the structure and fixing the fence will set them back a few $1,000s. Now she's planning to set up security cameras around the school. The demolition of Winnipeg's Arlington Bridge will start in June. The south end of the bridge, close to Logan Avenue, will come down this year. City Council's Public Works Committee approved the $10 million demolition contract today. The north side of the bridge, near Dufferin Avenue, will come down next year. Colette Kennedy joins us once again. Well, after complaining it was a cold spring, temperatures sure have warmed up quite nicely the past couple of days.
Yeah, thanks, Marjorie. Temperature, sure, mid-20s, some upper 20s, but we are headed there. We are going into the 30s as we get deeper into this week. I'm going to start off with a look here showing you our upper air pattern. A few things going on here. We look at the thicknesses, but it gives you an idea of what's going on in terms of the ridging that's building, but also tells us what's happening with those temperatures when we look at this. And as we move through the week, see how this soars through into Saskatchewan, across the province here, and even a little bit into Alberta. So we get into this strong ridge, and then the heat continues to build as we move towards Thursday and Friday, and even into the weekend. I expect those temperatures to be into the 30s. But of course, in general, it's going to be dry. We will have dry conditions. And with that, although there's not necessarily a lot of humidity, we have to start getting even more concerned as we move through the fire season and drought conditions. So looking at the big picture here right now, with a ridge of high pressure building in, it's kind of nudging that active weather. And there are some severe thunderstorm conditions in northwestern Ontario, but that's pushing that off towards the east. Things become quieter and clearer for us as high pressure builds. It's just along the trough behind that area of low pressure. We do have some instability there and a little bit of precipitation along the shore of Hudson Bay. Churchill, you may be impacted by that. Then we also get this stubborn, nearly stationary front because we've got some cooler air and warmer air just battling it out, and it stays here. It doesn't really do much in terms of moisture until we get into maybe Wednesday, and around Brandon you might have the odd shower starting to build, but in all likelihood some of that moisture is going to dry up in the upper atmosphere. Wind's not a big factor here. They will be Churchill to Gila maybe tomorrow morning through midday a little stronger, and perhaps towards the western parts of the province tomorrow breezier, but not really that breezy, 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. So here we are, Winnipeg, 27, mostly sunny skies. Wednesday, sunshine, 29. Here we go with the temperatures into the 30s by Thursday, 33, mild overnights. And then by Friday, Saturday, now this could change and adjust a little bit, but for now, what I am seeing with our models is that we are going into the mid-30s. Again, not a lot of humidity in here. We get concerned when we have a dry period like this headed our way. But the flip side of that is, of course, here comes some warmth and sunny conditions, which can also be rather enjoyable. Marjorie.
All right. Thank you very much, Colette. Oh, dear. Here's a look at Assiniboine Park over the weekend where this group was just passing through. There's more to come after the break. Stay with us. A group of First Nations in Manitoba's Interlake have bulldozed through a road blockade. The gravel path connects an old road with the Lake St. Martin outlet channel. First Nations who use the land around the path say the province cut off road access without consulting them first. CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco has that story.
A pile of rocks is flattened on Friday, restoring access to a road in Manitoba's Interlake.
These are Treaty 2 lands. These are our lands. We're taking back our lands.
It's unclear exactly when the path was cut off, but First Nations in the area say it was obstructed by the province without the community's consent.
We're here to show the government that we're not going to stand by their barricades any longer.
The road has been under construction in recent years to extend a gravel path to the Lake St. Martin emergency outlet channel. The Interlake Reserve's Tribal Council says the province assured the 7 First Nations they represent that the project wouldn't restrict access to the area.
We just want them to be forthright because we thought we were resetting this relationship when the new government came in, and there's been no reset yet.
Around the road is a sprawling land First Nations have used to harvest, hunt, and pick medicines. They're worried drilling and construction are disrupting the area, including deep gravel pits that have become a safety hazard, making it possibly unusable for generations to come.
I remember being able to hunt as a little boy with my grandfather, and I can't do that anymore. I can't raise my children the same way that I was raised by my grandparents.
The province says they set up a gate to limit access to the area as part of an environmental licensing process. But after receiving feedback, they are reconsidering.
It's a breach of treaty rights.
Still, First Nations argue they should have been consulted earlier.
I still feel that we don't have a voice, but if we were consulted properly with reconciliation that they promised us, maybe it'd be a different story.
Especially since they say they've been left out from other projects in the past. Now they're hoping a meeting with the province next month will yield a different path. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Premiers from Western Canada are gathered for a conference in Alberta. But looming over the agenda, that province's fall vote on whether to hold a binding referendum on leaving Canada. As Julia Wong explains, it comes as the Prime Minister made his most pointed remarks about Alberta's plan.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is not holding back when it comes to Alberta's separation referendum question. Monday, he made his strongest comments yet about Albertans voting on whether the province should stay in the country or start the process to hold a binding referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada. Carney says the United Conservative Party did not run on separation during the last provincial election and says the issue is not part of its mandate.
That is a very dangerous bluff. That is a very dangerous bluff. I saw firsthand what happened in the United Kingdom when the view was vote for this, it'll be soft, and then we'll negotiate, etc. And they end up, and they're still 10 years later trying to undo what people didn't think they were voting for, but what they ended up having.
This is the point, that this is a decision for Albertans to make. And what I think the Prime Minister and I have done a lot to demonstrate how Canada and Alberta can work together on shared interests. But I think it's also incumbent upon everyone not to dismiss Albertans' legitimate grievances.
The exchange comes as Western premiers meet in Alberta today. Topics such as trade and economic development would normally be top of the agenda, but Alberta's separation question is expected to overshadow the meeting. And it comes as a new Angus Reid poll shows 60% of Albertans would vote to stay in the country and 35% would vote to leave, though 51% also say the question is confusing.
One, we're starting to possibly see an uptick in the number of people who'd like to separate. Two, there's maybe slightly more people who want to send a message to Ottawa and start a process about leaving, even if ultimately they don't wish to leave. Or three, they're simply confused by the question.
The Western Premiers Conference concludes Tuesday. Julia Wong, CBC News, Kananaskis Village, Alberta.
With Canada's wildfire seasons getting worse, the federal government has announced new resources to help fight the flames wherever they may be. It's leased 10 new firefighting aircraft, and they'll be available for use by provinces and territories beginning this season.
There'll be 5 planes and 5 heavy lift helicopters.
and they will be pre-positioned at locations across the country, and that will be based on anticipated fire activity. And these aircraft can deliver large volumes of water or fire retardant, and that helps us slow the spread of wildfires, really to act as a support to ground crews as well, and to protect structures, and that's especially important in hard-to-reach areas of our country.
In international news now, U.S. President Donald Trump called on several countries to join the U.S.-led Abraham Accords as part of an effort to reach a deal with Iran. Trump said in a post he spoke to the leaders of Qatar, Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, and Turkey on Saturday, and that it should, quote, be mandatory those countries normalize relations with Israel. That, as the U.S. Secretary of State says, negotiations are ongoing with Tehran, with a focus on getting oil shipments moving again and kicking the thorny issue of Iran's nuclear program down the road.
We have what I think is a pretty solid thing on the table in terms of their ability to open up the straits, get the straits open, enter into a very real, significant, time-limited negotiation on the nuclear matters, and hopefully we can pull it off. We're going to give diplomacy every chance to succeed before we explore the alternatives.
The U.S. president posted online that negotiations with Iran are proceeding nicely, but added that if no agreement is reached, it would be, quote, back to the battlefront. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson is also saying conclusions have been reached on many topics, but that it doesn't mean the two sides are close to agreement. Canada is hosting a huge trade and investment delegation from India this week. It is the largest New Delhi has ever sent to this or any other country. International Trade Minister Maninder Sidhu welcomed India's Commerce and Industry Minister in Ottawa. He's leading a delegation of more than 100 Indian business leaders looking to build on the Prime Minister's visit to India in March to boost economic cooperation. The aim of this visit to accelerate negotiations of a free trade deal. Everything from energy, mining, technology, and manufacturing will be discussed through Wednesday. Minister Sidhu has already announced a reciprocal Canadian trade mission to India to take place later this year. Police say they've arrested 17 suspects in the Toronto area linked to a series of extortion incidents against the South Asian community. Shihan Desjardins has more.
A terrifying scene in Peel region just west of Toronto. One person appears to be filming while the other opens fire. Now police say 17 men have been arrested in connection with a slew of violent attacks like these against the South Asian community in Ontario, Alberta, and BC.
Victims were threatened, businesses were shot, there have been arsons, families intimidated, and this was organized violence. They're not one-off activities.
Investigators believe there are ties to a bigger international criminal network, a gang known as Four Brothers. The suspects now facing more than 100 charges, including extortion, firearms offenses, arson, and others. At least 6 of the men could face some kind of immigration action too.
Police doing their part, but we are still receiving calls. Extortion calls.
Racinder Kaur says she knows dozens of people who have been extorted before. Earlier this year, she organized a protest to call on officials to do more. But she says victims are scared to speak out.
They are very much in stress. They can't sleep, mentally anxiety, and they are not feeling safe.
The surge in extortions in Canada dates back to 2023. Among the many incidents, homes under construction in Edmonton were torched. Car dealerships targeted in the Peel region. And this home in Surrey, BC, shot at Monday for the second time this year, also suspected to be extortion.
Extortion is not a new crime, but it has evolved. It has evolved here in Peel and other parts of our country.
And the fight to tackle it still not over.
If you are being threatened, targeted, or asked for money, report it to police.
A plea to victims as the investigation continues with more arrests expected. Shihan Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
Barbecue season is finally here, but the price of beef might slow your roll. It's hit record highs according to Stats Canada. Ina Sidhu reports.
Whether it's steaks on the grill or burgers for a backyard barbecue, Canadians are paying significantly more for beef.
They're up about $10 a pound, so it's a pretty big increase.
Beef prices are up more than 12% compared to a year ago, and nearly 63% higher than 5 years ago, far outpacing increases for chicken or pork.
The odd time I'll, buy a steak, but it still hurts to buy a steak. It's so darn expensive.
Industry analysts say years of drought drove up feed costs, forcing ranchers to shrink cattle herds. But despite hefty prices at Calgary's Bonton Meat Market, it remains a top seller.
We're still 45% of our sales are beef. However, you are seeing people either buying a little less, maybe not as big a steak, maybe a little cheaper cut of meat.
One possible factor fueling demand, the growing popularity of protein-heavy diets.
We have a protein moment happening not only in North America but around the world that's really being supportive not just to beef but to all proteins.
Now Canada's cattle herd is beginning to expand for the first time in years, with high prices encouraging ranchers to raise more cows.
Prices have rebounded to the point where, it's looking good to put cattle back into your cow herd.
But rising costs for fuel and feed are limiting how fast they can expand. Still, consumers shouldn't expect bargain beef anytime soon, as experts say more supply is still years away.
It's too bad that it's so expensive, but, if we like beef, you eat it.
Which is why so many keep lining up at the beef counter. Ina Sidhu, CBC News, Calgary.
Coming up, the Mayberry Fine Art Gallery is moving out of the Exchange District, prompting the biggest art sale in Winnipeg's history. More on that after the break. Stay with us. The Mayberry Fine Art Gallery is moving out of the Exchange District to a new location on Wall Street set to open in July. The move is prompting the biggest art sale in Winnipeg's history. CBC News spoke with the gallery's director about the pieces up for sale.
So we have 89 paintings available in our May auction, which closes on May 28th. Many of the paintings are by major names in Canadian art. May is auction season in Canada, and so we've brought together the best that we can pull together for this event. It's the largest valued art collection that's been offered for sale in Winnipeg, with a pre-sale estimate of $1.1 million to $1.5 million. Those are what we expect the works to fetch as of the closing time.
Okay, Sean, this is probably the most expensive piece. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is Lauren Harris, and Lauren Harris is one of Canada's most famous and important artists. This painting is it's an untitled painting, but the region is painted in Algoma. The group of 7 painted smaller paintings like this here. We call them oil sketches. They painted them outdoors. And this painting is done after 1918, when they outfitted a train car and would haul it into the sort of real rugged regions, isolated regions in around Algoma and then later Lake Superior. It's a very unique color palette, the sort of autumn colors of the trees changing color, likely October, end of September, October, but it still has this beautiful warmth of the sort of late summer blue hue in the composition. It's really an extraordinary work. We've got it estimated at $125,000 to $175,000, and there are many examples of paintings of similar sort of period and quality to this that sort of sell in those price ranges. I think when it comes to collecting, you always want to, first of all, you want to always buy what you love. We've never sold a painting to anyone that didn't love it, regardless of price. You want to spend time to educate yourself about the things that you are interested in collecting. So coming to an exhibition like this gives you a wonderful opportunity to see a wide array of artists whose work is excellent quality, but again covers a whole variety of sort of price points. We vet all the pieces. We look for artists that we feel were professionals in their field. But the quality of the art is usually all fairly similar, so you'll find a whole variety of price points. I find that art's a bit, valuing art's a bit like valuing a house at times. You look for comparables, you look for the neighborhood, you look for the city that it's in. We have 2 paintings by Maud Lewis, and Maud Lewis almost needs no introduction. She's Canada's most prominent folk artist. An artist who was entirely self-trained. She produced a body of work that continues to inspire generations of new collectors. Maud's work is sort of deceptively simple. They're these bright, colorful, cheerful paintings that often depict her rural surroundings in Nova Scotia. The bottom painting here is called The Deer at Sunset. The top painting is image with horse and sleds, moving through winter. We've got some skaters on the ice in the background and a sled that's going over a bridge.
How emotional does it feel leaving the Exchange District after 20 years?
I remember it was a packed house. My hair was black then, and we had a full house in January. And so when people come in to look at art, art can sometimes be very intimidating. And as a commercial gallery, our objective is to sell and promote art, to make it a comfortable experience for people, to help them and encourage them on that journey. And often people come in and they lack the ability to talk about the art or understand, what to think about it. And so the building actually was like a great icebreaker, because you come into the building and, oh, I love the architecture, or I love the building, or who owned this, or when was this built? So we immediately always had a way to, get to establish a rapport with someone to make them sort of feel more comfortable in the space. So the new space gives a large percentage of the gallery to promotion of contemporary artists, and that's a big priority for us. You don't have secondary market art to sell if you don't sell it in the primary market. And so you always have to be cultivating that sort of next crop of artists and group of artists and give collectors an opportunity to see new talent in what people are producing today.
Colette is here once again. Well, Colette, it looks like today is the coolest day this week compared to what's coming for us the rest of this week.
Thanks, Marjorie. Yeah, this week, this weather pattern, it's all about the warmth, the building, temperatures, dry conditions though as well. So we get the sun in there, we get to enjoy that, but you got to watch out for the high UV index, and we have to be watching our drought monitors as well. And we know it's highly variable, but certainly there are some areas, parts of southern Saskatchewan, we have some pockets and into northern Manitoba, pockets back into Alberta where this is concerning when we have a pattern like this coming up. And just looking at your temperature trends, watch where we get into the oranges, almost like a red in here on the color contours, because that's showing you the heat and how it starts to flare up. This is Thursday, okay? Overtaking Saskatchewan, pushing further into Manitoba across the Inner Lakes region. And then on Saturday, it may look like it moderates a little bit in here, but really we just get a bit of a change in the direction of the winds. And so closer to the shores of the lakes, you might have some cooler readings. And so the temperature contour colors change. But overall, I still see some significant heat in there into the weekend. So that jet stream, a trough to the west, but that building ridge here, and with that, it's that sinking, stable air, but that also leads to the very dry conditions. And not so, I mean, they're somewhat isolated, but some very active weather in northwestern Ontario with that energy that's come out of Minnesota. So that's a potent low. On the back side of that, there is a trough providing some cloud cover and a little bit of precipitation here along the shores of Hudson Bay. So that's something to be watching there. Churchill, maybe some of the cloud cover stretching back towards Thompson. Otherwise, we remain in drier conditions until maybe Wednesday, when we've got that nearly stationary front that could bring a bit of moisture, but the atmosphere is so dry, it may dry up before it even is reaching the ground. So looking at your temperatures, mild overnight, a little cooler to the north, as you might expect, even dipping below freezing there for Churchill. And then as it moves through the day tomorrow, getting those readings up there, high single digits for you at least, and more than high single digits. Certainly we're talking mid-20s, high 20s, even approaching 30 degrees as we're heading into tomorrow. But then after that, we're talking about some mid-30s coming our way later in the week. How about that? It means keeping the pets cool, doesn't it? And this is Floyd. What a sweetheart. Just a little bit of that sugar face around his snout. I love this, Laura. He's a sweetheart. I have a soft spot for golden retrievers. I have a rescue golden retriever myself, as I've mentioned before. And looking at the dog walking forecast, yes, some heat. We have to start watching the pavement for it warming up. But otherwise, I'm giving it green paws all the way.
All right. Thank you very much, Colette. Grandmothers from Winnipeg's African community dressed to the nines and strutted down the runway at a fashion show over the weekend. They want to inspire younger women and girls and show them to be proud of their culture. But it was also for a bigger cause. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Here for you.
Grandmothers from Winnipeg's African community are getting ready for their big moment on the runway.
I feel like Tyra Banks. I feel like $1 million.
They were about to strut and dance their way down the aisle during a fashion show as part of AfriFest. Juanita de Souza Hulite wore a print given to her by her father.
The beads are something that is very traditional in almost all the African countries. So I made sure there's a little bit of beads on this to showcase. So when I go to where people talk and you can see the flair, so it's African print with a modern flair.
12 grandmothers took part in the show. Leslie C. wore clothing from Senegal.
I'm making a statement, and it's a reminder to myself and to the people around me, especially my children, to be proud of their heritage.
Rovimbo Chimutsa organized the day, celebrating grandmothers as much as the culture.
It is super important that we honor them because they raise our parents, they raise us, they love us, they show us strength.
The event raised money for the Grace and Nellie Project, named after Chimutsa's grandmothers, both community champions in Africa. The organization wants to reduce poverty and empower girls and communities in rural Zimbabwe, an important cause for the grandmothers who took part in the show, Many say they grew up with a lack of access to menstrual and other hygiene products.
There's some girls who miss school because they don't have sanitary products. So they can't miss school because of that. We know education is the cornerstone of a better life. So we need to do that for them.
The organizers hope as the event grows, they can do even more to help people back home and find more grandmothers from the community to honor here in Manitoba. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Still ahead, could a career change be in your future? If so, this pirate ship is up for sale. That and a last look at weather after the break. Stay with us. Mexico has unveiled a record-breaking mural celebrating its soccer heritage as the country gears up for the World Cup next month. It measures 203 square meters, and it's the largest mural ever painted using traditional brushes. Spray pads in Winnipeg have opened today just in time for the heat that's coming this week. Most spray pads are now open daily from 9:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. All spray pads are expected to be open by Friday, except for Boyd Park, which will open on July 2nd. Outdoor pools won't be open until June 19th. Wading pools will start operating on Canada Day.
Well, you know, the spring has been somewhat volatile, but boy, we're diving early into summer, it seems like this week, especially as we get a little further into the week. But certainly today with high 20s, tomorrow mostly sunny skies, 27, 29 by Wednesday, sunshine there into Thursday. And yes, by the time we're at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, again, I'm watching this carefully, but it really looks like the setup is that heat going into the mid-30s, not terribly humid, but even that is concerning because then we have these dry conditions and pushing not only on through the week, but you'll notice into the weekend as well. So we'll be monitoring the drought conditions very carefully. But boy, take it easy, and sunscreen for sure will be needed.
All right, thank you very much, Colette. Well, if you ever wanted to own a pirate ship, there's one that's now up for sale. Here is your daily lift. The 15-meter replica pirate ship has 24 working water cannons and does regular cruises around Mooney's Bay in Ottawa. The owner says there's nothing like seeing the smiles of the kids as they open treasure chests, but he's ready to pass off the captain's sword as he and his wife are moving to Europe.
It's the right time. You know, I've put in my heart and soul into this organization over all these last years and created and developed a beautiful family program during the day, an escape room program in the evening. We've opened the boat up to partner with a variety of other local artists to host cruising events and cruising concerts. It's been my pride and joy, but it is time to find someone else to take the reins.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you again here tomorrow. Good night.